11 years. That's how long it had been since I last stood in front of my family. 11 years since they looked at me, spoke to me, or even acknowledged I existed. And now, here I was, standing outside the grand ballroom of the Rosewood Manor, watching crystal chandeliers sparkle through tall windows, hearing laughter and music echo from inside. My sister's wedding day. The same sister who once called me her best friend. The same sister who promised we'd be each other's maids of honor someday. But that was before everything fell apart, before the night that destroyed my entire life. I adjusted the elegant navy blue dress I wore, checked my makeup one last time in my compact mirror, and took a deep breath. My hand trembled slightly as I reached for the door handle. No one inside knew I was coming. No one expected to see me. And honestly, no one would even recognize me. Because the girl they threw away 11 years ago no longer existed. I was someone else now. Someone stronger. Someone who had rebuilt herself from absolute nothing. And tonight, they were all about to find out exactly who I had become. But before I tell you about the wedding, before I tell you about the moment I walked through those doors and watched every face turn pale, you need to understand what they did to me. You need to know why I disappeared, and why, after all these years, I chose today, of all days, to come back. It started when I was 17. My name is Elena, and I was the oldest daughter in the Morrison family. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. My father owned a small construction business, my mother was a teacher, and my younger sister, Victoria, she was the golden child. Beautiful, charming, and everyone's favorite. 3 years younger than me, but somehow always 3 steps ahead in my parents' hearts. I didn't mind, honestly. I loved Victoria. We shared secrets, stayed up late talking about our dreams, and I genuinely believed we would always be close. Then came Marcus. Marcus Chen was the son of my father's biggest client, a wealthy real estate developer. He was 20, sophisticated, and when he started showing interest in me during a family barbecue, I felt like the luckiest girl alive. We started dating secretly at first. Then my parents found out, and surprisingly, they approved. Marcus was successful, from a good family, and my father saw it as a smart connection for our future. But I should have known. I should have seen the signs. Because the fairy tale I thought I was living in was about to turn into my worst nightmare. Everything changed on my 18th birthday. My parents threw me a surprise party at our house. Nothing too fancy, just family and close friends. Marcus was there, of course, looking handsome in a dark shirt, giving me a beautiful silver bracelet as a gift. Victoria helped set everything up. She decorated the entire living room with balloons and fairy lights. It was perfect. Until it wasn't. Around midnight, after most guests had left, I went upstairs to grab my phone from my bedroom. But as I reached the top of the stairs, I heard something. Voices. Coming from Victoria's room, the door was slightly open, and what I heard next made my blood run cold. "We can't keep doing this, Marcus. She's going to find out eventually." That was Victoria's voice. "I know, but I can't tell her yet. Not until the deal with her father goes through. After that, we can be together openly." Marcus. My Marcus. I stood frozen, my hand gripping the railing so tight my knuckles turned white. My heart pounded so loud I thought they might hear it. I wanted to burst in, scream, demand answers, but something stopped me. Some instinct told me to stay quiet, to listen, to understand the full depth of what was happening. "What about Elena? She loves you, Marcus. This is going to destroy her." "Victoria, you know I never really loved her. She was convenient. Your father trusts me because of her. And once this construction partnership is finalized, I'll have access to everything I need. Then you and I can start our real life together." I felt like someone had ripped my chest open. This wasn't real. This couldn't be happening. But Victoria's next words confirmed my nightmare was just beginning. "And my parents? They'll never accept us if they know we betrayed Elena like this." Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. "Then we make her the villain. We make it look like she's unstable, jealous, maybe even dangerous. Your parents already favor you anyway, Victoria. They'll believe whatever you tell them." That's when I stopped listening. That's when I quietly backed away from the door, went downstairs in a daze, and walked straight out of my own birthday party. No one noticed. They were all too busy celebrating. I spent that night sitting in a park, crying until I had no tears left. By morning, I had made a decision. I would confront them. I would tell my parents everything. Surely they would believe me, right? Surely they would see the truth. I was so wrong. When I told my parents the next day what I had heard, they didn't believe me. Not for a second. Marcus and Victoria had already gotten to them first. They told my parents I had been acting strange, jealous of Victoria's beauty and popularity, that I was making up lies to ruin their happiness. And my parents? They chose to believe them. They chose Victoria and Marcus over their own daughter. The next few weeks were hell. Every conversation in our house became a war zone. My parents accused me of being jealous, manipulative, attention-seeking. Marcus stopped returning my calls and blocked me everywhere. And Victoria? She played the victim perfectly, crying to our parents about how much my accusations hurt her, how she could never betray her own sister. The final blow came 3 weeks later. My father called a family meeting. I thought maybe, finally, they had realized the truth. Maybe they had seen through the lies, but instead, my father looked at me with cold, disappointed eyes and said words that still haunt me today. Elena, you've brought nothing but chaos into this family. Until you admit what you've done and apologize to your sister and Marcus, you are not welcome in this house. I stared at him in disbelief. You're kicking me out for telling the truth? My mother looked away, tears in her eyes, but she said nothing. She didn't defend me. She didn't fight for me. Victoria stood behind them, and for just a second, I saw it. A tiny smirk on her face. She had won. You have until tomorrow morning to pack your things and leave, my father continued. We'll send you some money for the first month, but after that you're on your own until you come to your senses. I didn't cry, not in front of them. I went upstairs, packed a single suitcase with clothes and a few personal items, and by morning, I was gone. 18 years old, no family, no support system, just a broken heart and $400 in my pocket. I stayed with a friend from school for 2 weeks until her parents said I couldn't stay any longer. After that, I bounced around, couch surfing, working minimum wage jobs at coffee shops and grocery stores. I dropped out of college because I couldn't afford tuition. For months, I barely survived. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom. You either stay there and let it consume you, or you decide to climb. And I was tired of being the victim, tired of crying, tired of feeling powerless. So I made a promise to myself. I would rebuild my life. I would become someone they could never ignore, never dismiss, never throw away again. And one day, when I was successful and powerful and everything they said I would never be, I would come back, not to beg for forgiveness, not to seek their approval, but to show them exactly what they had lost, to show them that destroying me was the biggest mistake they ever made. That day started with me walking into a community center and asking about scholarship programs and night classes. That day, my real life began. 5 years. That's how long it took me to completely transform my life. I started by getting my GED while working double shifts at a restaurant. Then I applied for every scholarship I could find for returning students. One finally accepted me. A small program for displaced young adults. It covered tuition at a community college. I studied business and finance, worked 3 part-time jobs, slept maybe 4 hours a night, and spent every free moment learning, networking, building skills. I taught myself graphic design, social media marketing, coding basics, anything that could give me an edge. By 21, I had my associate degree and an internship at a small marketing startup. By 23, I was their top account manager. By 25, I had saved enough money to launch my own digital marketing agency with a business partner I met through networking events. And by 28, my agency was managing social media and branding for some of the biggest companies in the state, generating millions in revenue. I changed my last name legally from Morrison to Castellano, my mother's maiden name. I moved to a different city, built a completely new identity. The broken, discarded Elena Morrison no longer existed. I was Elena Castellano now, successful entrepreneur, confident, powerful, unbreakable. I watched my family from a distance through the years. Social media made it easy. I saw Victoria graduate college, saw her relationship with Marcus become public, saw my parents posting proud photos of their perfect daughter, the daughter who hadn't betrayed them, the daughter who hadn't caused them embarrassment. I saw Marcus take over his father's company. I saw him and Victoria get engaged 2 years ago. And throughout all of it, not once did they mention me. Not a single post, not a single photo. I had been completely erased from the Morrison family story. It hurt at first, but eventually, that pain transformed into fuel. Every time I felt weak, every time I doubted myself, I remembered how they threw me away, and I worked harder. 6 months ago, I saw the wedding announcement. Victoria Morrison to marry Marcus Chen at the Rosewood Manor. Date, time, location, all posted publicly. They weren't even trying to hide it, and that's when I decided. That's when I made the call that would change everything. I hired a private investigator. Not for revenge, not yet, but for truth. I wanted documentation of everything that happened 11 years ago. Proof that I wasn't crazy, that I hadn't imagined the conversation I overheard. What the investigator found went far beyond what I expected, and it gave me everything I needed for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect revenge. So there I stood, outside the Rosewood Manor, 11 years later. The doors were heavy, elegant, expensive. Everything my sister had always wanted. I pushed them open. The ceremony hadn't started yet. Guests were mingling in the reception hall, champagne glasses clinking, laughter filling the air. I walked in slowly, confidently, my heels clicking against the marble floor. At first, no one noticed me. I was just another guest in a sea of well-dressed people. But then, slowly, heads started turning. People began staring, whispering, because even though I looked completely different, even though I carried myself with a confidence that 18-year-old Elena never had, something about me was familiar. I made my way through the crowd, smiling politely, until I spotted them. My parents, standing near the bar, laughing with some relatives. My father looked older, grayer. My mother still looked elegant but tired. I walked straight up to them. "Hello, Mother." "Father." My mother's champagne glass nearly slipped from her hand. My father's face went completely white. They stared at me like I was a ghost. "Elena?" my mother whispered, her voice shaking. "It's been a long time," I said calmly, my voice steady and strong. 11 years to be exact. My father found his voice, but it came out harsh, defensive. "What are you doing here? You weren't invited. This is Victoria's day. You can't just what? Show up to my own sister's wedding? I'm family, aren't I? Or did you forget that when you threw me out?" People around us had stopped talking. Everyone was watching now. My mother looked panicked, embarrassed. "Elena, please, not here, not today." "Oh, don't worry, Mom. I'm not here to cause a scene. Actually, I'm here as a guest. You see, I happen to know the owner of this venue very well. In fact, my company handles all their marketing and branding. I called in a favor." That's when Victoria appeared, drawn by the commotion. She looked absolutely stunning in her pre-ceremony dress, but the moment she saw me, her face lost all color. "Elena? What? What are you doing here?" I smiled at her, the kind of smile that said everything and nothing at once. "Hello, little sister. Congratulations on your big day. We need to talk." Victoria grabbed my arm and pulled me toward a private room off the main hall. Marcus appeared seconds later, his face a mixture of shock and anger. My parents followed, and suddenly we were all together for the first time in 11 years, in a small side room while a wedding waited outside. "You need to leave, Elena," Marcus said, trying to sound authoritative. "You're not wanted here." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Not wanted?" "Marcus, I haven't been wanted for a very long time. But here's the thing. I stopped caring about what you want years ago." "Then why are you here?" Victoria demanded, tears already forming in her eyes. "Always the performer. To ruin my wedding? To get revenge?" "Revenge?" I pulled out my phone from my clutch. "No, Victoria. I'm here to give you all a gift. The gift of truth." I pressed play on a video file. The private investigator had done exceptional work. On my screen played security footage from 11 years ago, from the cameras outside our old house. Footage showing Marcus and Victoria kissing in our driveway late at night, weeks before my 18th birthday. Footage showing them sneaking around, meeting secretly. But that wasn't all. "This," I said, swiping to another file, "is a recording from Marcus's own phone. See? My investigator had a very interesting conversation with Marcus's former assistant, who had access to some old files. Files that Marcus thought were deleted years ago. I played an audio recording, Marcus's voice, clear as day, talking to someone about the Elena situation and how he needed to secure the Morrison construction contracts before dumping the older daughter for the younger, more useful one. My father's face went red. My mother covered her mouth. But I wasn't done. "And this," I continued, pulling out printed documents, "is proof that Marcus used my father's trust and our family connection to embezzle funds from their joint construction projects. $300,000? Moved through shell companies, hidden in fake contractor payments. Want to guess who helped him hide it? Who had access to Dad's financial records because she worked as his bookkeeper during college?" I looked directly at Victoria. Her face was no longer pale. It was green. "You want to know why I'm really here?" I said, my voice calm but cutting. "I'm here because I spent 11 years rebuilding myself from nothing, while you two built your perfect life on lies and stolen money. I'm here because you destroyed me, and never once felt guilty. And I'm here because today, everyone gets to know exactly who you really are." Marcus lunged forward, trying to grab my phone. but I stepped back. Don't worry, Marcus. I already sent copies to the authorities, and to Dad's lawyers, and to every major client your company works with. The room erupted into chaos. My father turned to Marcus, his face twisted with rage and betrayal. You stole from me? You used my daughter, my family, to rob me? Marcus tried to deny it, stammering excuses, but my mother cut him off. And you, she turned to Victoria, her voice breaking. You helped him? You knew what he was doing to your sister, to your father, and you helped him? Victoria broke down crying, but these weren't the manipulative tears she used to control people. These were real. Panicked. Desperate. Mom, I was young, I didn't understand what I was doing. Marcus said it was just business, he said. You let us throw Elena out, my father roared. We kicked our own daughter out of our home because of your lies. Do you understand what you've done? For 11 years, I had imagined this moment. I thought I would feel triumphant, powerful, vindicated, and I did feel those things. But I also felt something unexpected, sadness, because no matter what they did to me, they were still my family. And watching them fall apart, watching my parents realize the depth of the betrayal, watching Victoria's perfect life crumble, it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. My father turned to me, tears in his eyes. Elena, we were so wrong. We should have believed you. We should have protected you. I don't expect you to forgive us, but please know that I know, I said quietly. I know you're sorry, but sorry doesn't give me back 11 years. Sorry doesn't erase the nights I went hungry or the times I almost gave up. Sorry doesn't fix what was broken. My mother reached for me, but I stepped back. I didn't come here for your apologies, I continued. I came here to make sure the truth finally came out. What you do with that truth is up to you. But as for me, I'm done. I'm done being the forgotten daughter. I'm done caring whether you're proud of me or not. I built a life without you, and it's a damn good one. I turned to leave, but stopped at the door. Oh, and Victoria? The wedding's canceled. The venue owner just received an anonymous tip about unpaid invoices. Something about Marcus's company writing bad checks. Weird, right? I walked out, leaving them all behind. 3 months have passed since that day. Marcus's company collapsed within weeks. The embezzlement charges, combined with the fraud investigation, destroyed his reputation completely. He lost everything. Clients, contracts, respect. His father disowned him publicly. Last I heard, he's working at a sales job somewhere, trying to rebuild from scratch. Karma works in mysterious ways. Victoria called off the wedding. Obviously. She tried reaching out to me multiple times, leaving voicemails, sending letters, begging for a chance to explain, to apologize properly. I haven't responded. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I'll be ready to hear what she has to say. But not now. Not yet. My parents are a different story. My father returned the stolen money from what Marcus hadn't already spent and is working to rebuild his business reputation. My mother sent me a long letter, 10 pages of apologies, explanations, regrets. She didn't make excuses. She didn't try to justify what they did. She just said she was sorry and that she understood if I never wanted to see them again. I kept the letter. I read it sometimes, and I think, maybe someday, there might be a path toward forgiveness. Not forgetting, never forgetting, but perhaps forgiving. But they have to earn it. They have to prove they've changed, that they've learned. As for me, my life is better than ever. My business is thriving. I have real friends, people who know my story and support me. I even started dating someone, a kind, honest person who treats me the way I deserve to be treated. The girl who was thrown away at 18 doesn't exist anymore, and the woman who walked into that wedding? She's proof that you can survive betrayal. You can rebuild from nothing. You can become stronger than anyone ever believed possible. Would I change what happened? In a perfect world, yes. I wish my family had believed me. I wish I hadn't lost 11 years with them. But I can't change the past. I can only control what I do with the lessons it taught me. And the biggest lesson? Your worth isn't determined by who believes in you. It's determined by how you believe in yourself. So what's the point of all this? Why am I telling you this story? Because betrayal happens. Family can hurt you in ways strangers never could. The people you trust most can sometimes be the ones who destroy you. And when that happens, you have two choices. You can let it define you. Let it keep you down. Let it convince you that you're worthless. Or you can use it as fuel to become someone even you didn't know you could be. I chose the second option. and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Revenge isn't always about destroying someone else. Sometimes, the best revenge is simply becoming successful, happy, and complete without the people who tried to break you. It's proving that their rejection of you was their loss, not yours. But here's something else I learned. Revenge doesn't heal you. It might feel satisfying in the moment, but it doesn't erase the pain. Real healing comes from building something new, from finding people who genuinely love and support you, from learning to value yourself regardless of who doesn't. If you're going through something similar, if you've been betrayed or abandoned by people you loved, please hear this. You are not what happened to you. You are not defined by who left you or who hurt you. You are defined by how you rise, how you fight, how you refuse to let them write the ending of your story. My family threw me away thinking I would disappear. Instead, I became unforgettable. And if they could do it, so can you. Your comeback will always be stronger than any setback. Your future will always be bigger than your past. Remember that. Always.